There's dildos
Thank you.
that are like ogre tongues and like dragon penises.
Thank you.
This all exists.
I know.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you. Population Dimeo. Nate Dimeo. Jay, you okay?
I'm
Jesus
good.
Christ.
Welcome,
Nate.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
I'm happy to be here. And
It's
so
good to have you
here.
It is a shit show. It is, but it's a wonderful show. Let me just say, this is a perfect merging. I feel like your whole thing that you do, from your podcast to your book, which we'll talk about a little bit, is about exploring the decisions that people make and the histories of the people that
And the
there.
stories that they're involved in.
That's exactly right. And also the things that we become known for.
Yes.
Like, it's one thing, like, you're just there, you are, I don't know, like, you're fixing conveyor belts at like Coca-Cola bottling factories in the Midwest, and then suddenly you decide to sue someone for something ridiculous, and that's your thing.
That becomes your thing.
Think of the contribution to moving, I don't know, bottles on a conveyor belt.
So think of the decisions along the way you'd make. Should I do this lawsuit? Should I bring this thing? And then you're talking to other people. Now apply that lens, Nate, to stupid behavior. And you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to jump into a story right away. We'll talk about his book in a little bit. Hi, Daniel.
Great. Hey, buddy.
I love that sweater.
Great sweater.
All right, sent in by Dave Fournier, DP Fournier. Okay, so
Long time boot on the ground.
yeah, you ready? Live big, and I'm not going to say how big it is.
Okay.
Eel.
Toilet, bathtub.
Chews through man's intestines after he put it up his anus. That's the thing.
I hope he's dead.
Was it?
Literally.
No, you don't.
If you want to take a non-consenting
Have a holly
animal,
jolly Christmas.
you want to take a non-consenting animal into your sexual life,
That's right.
I hope you fucking die.
So here's the deal.
Not right.
Do you believe that it happened in Vietnam? Of
Yeah.
course it did.
Of course it
Vietnamese
did.
doctors. I mean, maybe it didn't happen in Vietnam. You just have Vietnamese doctors.
I think you go.
I think this was his Vietnam.
right.
He couldn't get out. There's no exit strategy.
Jane Fonda was protesting this.
Let's not forget, I'm a boy from Rochelle, Illinois.
Yeah.
I feel like all of Asian food,
Could
any
rip through your
region.
intestines?
No, the eel plays heavily.
Sure.
It's a delicious.
Right?
But you've had an eel avocado
I
roll.
don't see the eel more than any other place than
Sure.
Asian cuisine. Am I
Yeah,
am
you
I
don't have like
incorrect?
an Italian.
I actually think that there's a fair amount of eel in the cuisine of the British Isles,
Ooh.
Okay, which they just
doesn't
took.
speak so highly of it.
Right. I wouldn't think of that. Yeah.
Which
And-
they also definitely named themselves.
And they definitely don't call it the eel. They call it like bangers and squiggly.
but the truth of the matter is,
Well,
like,
see one.
but eel also sounds like what it is. Like eel
Yeah.
almost sounds like
Eel.
eel.
Yeah, it is an
Yeah.
onomatopoeia for itself.
Eel.
Well, and McDonald's is coming out with a McEel, which is a sandwich.
Which is just,
Which
it's
is-
long bread.
Yeah, long.
It's a baguette. It's a
Okay.
baguette.
And you shove it up your butt.
Shove it up
French.
Stop. Had chewed through his intestines after he shoved it up his hand.
Good.
The nauseating discovery. I'm glad that whoever's writing this is
Sure.
just
Inserting their own
exactly. Was
objective
made.
tools.
The discovery was made when we're not going to tell you how old he
Dude's
is.
his own Saw movie.
Blank Indian national was admitted to Viet Duc Hospital in Hanoi. This is his Vietnam on July 27th after excruciating abdominal pain. Really?
I'd imagine so.
Have you guys
You're
had
shocked?
food poisoning recently or anything? I had some food
Can I
poisoning
be
the other
honest with
night.
you? And I feel like if you're unsure, you're sure. I'm not sure I've ever had food poisoning.
Why are you tempting the fates?
Don't,
Daniel,
Dan!
don't say
Knock
that.
on
No, the
wood.
only reason I
Don't
said
get
it is
it.
because
You're
if you
tempting the
have,
eel gods.
you're sure, right?
It's awful. It's
Oh,
terrible.
Like I've had times where I ate something and I feel like it didn't sit right with me and stuff like that, but I've never had like.
So the other night, I don't know what I
kill me.
had the other night.
I mean, I've been very sick.
It felt like an eel was trying to get through, and I only stuck it up my penis. But I mean, it felt like people were clawing like two hands were clawing my stomach open.
Maybe
I was in so much pain,
I've
and I
had
didn't.
definite
Ugh.
insane intestinal like.
Maybe you were in labor.
So doctors learned that the adventurous patient. I was
That is a
I was
kind way to
dilated
put that.
7 centimeters, Nate. Is
That's
that
good. I think you were ready.
Yeah, the
I
adventurous
was crowning.
adventurous patient
Let's not
On
call him
CBS?
adventurous.
had
It's one of my favorite procedural.
the adventurous patient had slipped.
She can't remember.
That's true. There's not enough patient-focused doctor
It's
shows.
all doctor. The good doctor. How about the bad patient?
Exactly.
The adventurous guy
This is your 15th time in here.
had slipped the phallic fish. It's not a phallic fish.
Nope.
No, that's,
Is it a
Don't put
fish?
it on.
Yeah, no.
Is
That's
an
the-
eel
yeah,
a
it's a
fish?
An eel's a fish.
It's a swimmer.
Well, what else would be an amphibian?
No. I mean, it's
reptile.
Clearly, but I do wonder because an eel is clearly its own category. There's a moray eel. There's a trigger fish.
Right.
Like it's its own category.
I don't call it a fish.
But I guess a shark is a fish and also has its own category.
Sure. All right. Backside earlier in the day, and it tried to escape. Of course, Daniel.
Yes, it's trying
the
to
eel
get
had
out.
bitten through the patient's rectum and colon to escape the abdominal cavity, said Nat Huai, vice director of the Department of Colorectal and Perineal Surgery. You know, this guy was like, great, I have to now make a statement.
That's right.
Thanks a lot.
I know. How often does the vice director of that?
He probably doesn't know what it's like to stand behind the podium. And
exactly right.
This asshole.
Literally.
There you go. The patient was immediately examined and underwent several imaging tests, including X-ray that showed the eel skeleton lying inside of his abdominal cavity.
So it busted out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Doctors attempted to...
Andy Dufresne did
Yeah. He went through a river of shit, literally. Get on the other side. Andy Dufresne. Doctors attempted to remove the foreign object through the man's anus, but they discovered a large lime that he had also inserted, blocking the way.
Wait, so that... Oh, wow.
It's like there's no way. This is... You guys want to see it?
I do, actually.
Here it is. Here it is.
Jesus.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Let it be.
Dan does not want to see it.
Just kill yourself.
This is almost...
And I don't mean that like do it.
Right,
I
I
just
know.
mean
Do it before you decide
Don't bring
to
an
do
eel
this.
into this.
this is the he's obviously
Nate's saying don't bring a lime into this.
Well,
what
I
did the
feel
lime ever do
That
to
was
you?
the problem. I feel like if he'd just done the eel.
Well, do you think it was a whole thing of like, okay, it goes lime first?
No, you put
Then
the lime in the coconut.
No, what you
But you
do
know
is
when people
you
can't
throw
figure out how
salt
to
over
do
your
That's what I'm
shoulder.
saying. When people can't figure out like, okay, so I
You stick
suck
the wheel
lime,
in your ass, suck
drink,
the lime.
then do the salt.
Then
like,
throw the
where's
wheel-
the eel go in this?
Lime, salt, eel, lime.
You check that eel for teeth.
Lime, salt, eel, lime. All right.
Sure.
Vietnamese doctors said the man had put the eel up his anus. Okay, the eel bit its way through the man's intestines into the abdominal cavity. Instead, the doctors opted for emergency surgery. So now people have to fix this guy. Now you got to...
I know, exactly. Now you brought a whole healthcare system into it.
Thank you.
I'd throw him a book and go
Right.
figure it out.
Yep. All right,
Just
here's
be
a
like, we
scalpel.
tried.
That's right.
Or I'd bring in some like
And
students.
a lime zester.
Bring in some students. Just a scraper. They sliced open the patient's torso and found the live eel stretching more than how many inches long?
I'm so glad it's alive.
It's alive. They saved it. You drop
so
it in.
glad.
The weird thing
Wait,
is
how
that-
long?
Yeah,
Wait.
how many inches
Oh, so
long?
we're supposed to guess.
Yeah,
18.
18. What
I'm
do you
going to take the over.
think? Pick a number.
I'm going to pick 21 inches.
Jay,
24 inches.
get your answers in. One of you is one off.
So we can all go
So
up or down one?
Up or down
I'm going to
one.
go 17.
23.
20 inches.
Get your answers in, townies, because this thing was 25 inches long.
Oh!
I went the wrong way.
So did he.
Just hey, hey. How many inches in diameter do you want to guess?
I don't...
In diameter?
Diameter?
I don't know what is that.
I think
Two?
it's...
3?
I think it can be that way because if the guy was like, I can get that up there.
No, you
You
never
get a lot
know.
of things
Get a
up
lot
there.
of things
We-
up
we
there.
do
Well, it's true,
every
he'd
year.
already done the
Can't
line.
get a
up
lot
there.
of things up there. Yeah, the lime.
Get a
is
lava lamp up
So
there
how
if
many?
you need to.
I know. How
If you
many?
need to.
2.5 inches.
If you need to.
2.5 inches. What do you think?
I said
An inch
3.
and a half.
I said
All right,
3.
get your answers in, townies. One of you is one off. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
And it's 4 inches long.
Oh
4 inches
my
in diameter. The creature and the lime were both removed. You guys want to see the lime? There it is.
Oh, a whole lime.
whole
I wasn't
lime.
even a
I'm
wedge.
actually finding the lime picture more disturbing.
I was always
disgusting.
picturing a
like
home.
his glove.
A
and
whole
stuff.
lime.
It's disgusting.
This is how you make Sprite.
The doctors tried to remove the eel through the patient's anus, but the lime was blocking the way. Now look at the eel and the lime together.
They look like they're
A
cucumber.
lula
actually.
venetra.
Yeah, it's like a very. There's a thing in
It's like the dot in the line.
in
You
the
guys remember
Jewish
that cartoon?
religion
Yeah.
where over the New Year that you get a thing that you shake.
Okay.
And then a lime and a lemon or a spice thing. All right, anyway. The eel was more than 25 inches long, 4 inches. After checking for additional foreign objects, because you got to look for other
No,
stuff now.
you can't trust this guy. At
this
this point.
There's my letter opener.
He's
Exactly.
fucking Mary Poppins' purse.
Right.
There's a deed to a ranch in here.
It's a lamp.
an umbrella that allows you to fly.
Mary Poppins' purse is a great ride.
It was really bad. After checking for additional foreign objects hiding inside the man, they stitched him up. Surgeons also performed a colonostomy to prevent fecal matter from passing through the cut made by the eel's bite. The doctors at the hospital told Vietnam News, that's the whole thing,
Sure.
that they've
That's where I
dealt with
get all my
patients, typically young men who have put objects up their bums for sexual pleasure. Viet Duc Hospital has previously removed bottles, cups, adult toys from patients' anus, but this is the first
I'm fine with
case.
all those things.
First case involving a live animal. Just make it the lime. Just do the
No,
lime.
why?
The lime is enough.
A lime in time
you can't
saves
look
9.
around your house
And find something
find
that'll
something
do
to
that
fuck
for
with
you.
How about a plastic eel?
Wait,
a chair leg.
we've heard about. Wait, but
A magic wand.
What I would actually like to know is whether clearly the eel does not look alive there.
It is alive.
No, it
The
is
eel is still alive.
Alive.
Did they return it to the river?
So eels can
Because
survive.
what a story that eel has.
Eels, I know. That guy
Where-
comes back.
where were you, Dave?
I
All of a sudden he's Billy.
horrible
All of a
cave.
sudden
I
the
saw
eel,
the inside of a hospital.
the eel is Billy the Bass. Take me to the river.
Please.
Drop me in the water.
Please.
With the lime right next to him. If
Do you
Billy,
think he perfect? He's like the lime is his Wilson from Castaway, and the eel is like, "You're coming with me, man. We went through this together.
Well
and you're
said.
coming with me."
And the eel's like, this was my Vietnam.
yeah,
This was his
Yeah, it was a situation he never should have been in.
zero
No.
eggs. Zero eggs.
He's going up the river further
Yes,
than
we should have
the
gone.
heart
We
of
went too
darkness.
far in rather than securing ourselves from the rear.
It's the heart of anus.
Exactly.
All right. Eels can survive in
was a
anaerobic
shit show
conditions-
from the beginning.
anaerobic conditions for a long time and have the ability to bite through gastrointestinal tract. He
No
warned.
shit.
Therefore, people should never insert live animals through the
No.
anus to seek intense sensations due to the unforeseeable consequences. However,
He did experience intense sensations.
if you
Whatever
are
follows this, however, is insane.
No.
You just said read
No,
those
I'm
sentences
saying,
back to-
however.
Oh, thank God.
I'm
Because
saying-
you were like, you should never do this at all. However,
Daniel, I am saying
you
to
work for the SeaWorld.
sexual toy makers. You know, I had the Island of Misfit, and I know
Yeah.
that it's Christmas, so like you probably they're like sexual toys that are given as Christmas
you're
gifts.
gonna say something I'm about to tell you exists.
Like make an
do.
eel, make a
do.
electronic eel that can go up there that has a string that you
dude,
can
there's
pull out.
dildos
Thank you.
that are like ogre tongues
Thank you.
and like
Okay.
dragon
Thank you.
penises. Like,
Thank you.
This all exists.
I know.
Not you, the person in the story, idiot.
You have options.
Go on Amazon. All right.
You don't have to fly to Vietnam.
Therefore, people should never insert live animals. This,
Good-
however,
good
is
rule.
not the first
Good
time.
rule, author.
This is the first time that eel was removed from someone's backside in Vietnam this year. In March, a
This same eel.
a
No.
12-inch eel slid up a 43-year-old man's anus. Slid up.
So this is like
wait, that sounds like it was his choice.
That sounds like he was skinny dipping. in
We're
a
blaming
river.
the victim.
So
Did
this
you
is like-
see what that eel was wearing?
the dumbest
See what that victim was
sexual version of us trying to get other cultures to realize that there's no magic in
Right.
a rhinoceros horn.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
just stop
Stop.
doing this.
He was rushed to the Hai Ha District Medical Center in Quang Nhi Province.
That was the noise he made when
Also
it went
a great
up there.
outfit.
Hi. In Quang Nhi,
Yeah.
where the sea creature was removed. We are going to get out of here on this. This is just a fun one
That's
to
what
get
the
into.
eel
We're
said.
Just
eating
trying
our
to
way through the
We're going to eat
entire
our way
story.
through this whole thing. How old was the Indian national man who was admitted to the hospital who allowed the eel to go up there?
I'm
How
gonna
old
guess,
is this guy?
Yeah, go first. Nate.
I'm going to guess 53 years old.
53.
I'm going to go 32.
40.
One of you is 1 year off.
31.
Okay?
52 years old.
39.
Get your answers in, townies, because this man, who we do not know his name,
Sure.
but we
Thank
just
God.
know his
They
age,
should say his name.
is, this should give where he works, 31 years old. Daniel Van Kirk!
You knew.
All right, that's story number one. We come back, we're talking about Nate's amazing book, The Memory Palace, which is the name of his podcast. We'll be right back with more Dumb People Town. Nate Dimeo.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Nate Dinteo is with us. Wait a minute.
Dimeo. How do you not know?
I'm just reading it. God, my reading's terrible. Nate, you have a new book. We'll get to that in 1 second before we talk about this lovely thing that I'm tactily holding.
Cannot wait to read this.
We should let people know what we have going on where you can see us. First of all, thank you to everyone, including Aaron and Daniel. And we should have invited you, but we didn't. But we'll invite you next time. That was our bet. To our two-man show that we did at the Lyric Hyperion, The Born Identity, which we're doing again at Sketchfest on February 1st.
In San Francisco.
San Francisco Sketchfest Gateway Theater. It's a matinee show, and then later that night
And I want to tell everybody, tag it. If you haven't already subscribed to our Patreon, you should, because we're going to do more of a deep dive on one of those episodes because I want to talk to you guys about the show.
I love it.
We'll do
it
anybody, it's $5 a month, but anybody who already subscribes, you're going to get that. Anybody who doesn't, we're going to, that's some of the stuff that happens over there. We hang around and shoot the shit.
So as a person who wasn't invited, this would be a good way for me to access
you.
this content. So 100%.
Okay, so we knew. So here's the deal. We know that there's maybe another chance that we get to do a run of this at the Kirk Douglas Theater here, which is 300 seats and a lot to fill. So
SoFi.
We know we have lots of SoFi Stadium or the Kirk Douglas. We will need people to come. So
sure.
Sit tight, Nate. But we are very excited about that. And then we have a bunch. We're doing another tag-in on January 9th, I believe.
January 16th.
The 9th. Got moved to the 9th at the Comedy Store, which the last one was fantastic.
That's
we'll
a
have
Thursday,
great people.
I believe.
That's a Thursday night.
And then we're going to be in the La Jolla Comedy Store, which is something we have not done, but I'm so excited. End of January.
And then lots of stuff in March and April,
Great.
Detroit and Minneapolis and Denver, and then the Moon Tower. So all this stuff at superscholars.com. Check it all out. We love you guys. Nate, let's talk about this. The Memory Palace, this book. This is your podcast is amazing, and I love the story. You talk about stories of people. How do people become who they are based on the choices that they made and the histories they've themselves have created?
Cover.
Thank you very much.
You yourself have a glorious history that you've created this whole thing. We've watched you create this podcast. We've watched you nurture it into this thing that we can very much relate to. I feel very connected to you because you've created this whole world of what you do, the Memory Palace itself. And I love that it's now put together in this beautiful compendium.
Yeah, there's been something fun, knowing you guys over the years because we do different things.
Yep.
You guys crack wise professionally. I do not.
But you are very funny.
You are a funny dude.
I'm doing my best. I'm trying to hang.
Your wife is a wonderfully funny person too.
Yes, and so, but that said, there is something, there's just something in the DIY spirit of just constantly trying to figure out not just how to build an audience, but how to maintain that audience and how to serve that audience,
how to
make sure
perform
they know
your
where
thing
you're going.
live in front of people,
thing.
which you do too. It's we've really. It's been a parallel path. Well, explain to people who don't know what the Memory Palace is, what it is, and what this book is that is now out and available.
So for the past 16 years, and I know it because I started this thing a few weeks after my daughter was born, and this desperate need to what am I going to have that's still my own? How can I build something in this life?
This is why you need to
my
see our
wife is
show.
going back to work, and I'm going to be more or less taking care of the kids, etc. And but the truth of the matter is, I have for almost these whole 16 years had a difficult time explaining what this thing is, because on the one hand it's super simple, which is that I just tell in a sort of public radio style. I tell these short historical stories. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're sad, sometimes they're a little bit of both, sometimes they're weird and meditative, sometimes they're ripping yarns, and it's just me and my voice, and I put it to music. And every time I say that, I think to myself, I don't think I would listen to that show.
No,
not
and
true.
so then when you
voice.
follow it up, and it's then the pitch is it's that, but it's good is also a difficult thing.
Absolutely good.
So,
compelling.
Yeah.
Fucking. It's the kind of thing that you're I'm going to listen to this just to chill out and rest and maybe help me chill from my day, and then you're no, I'm riveted. I'm so into this thing, and
they're great stories.
They're amazing. It's amazing.
So
amazing
is this a collection of some of your best or favorites,
it's
or
a
are
mix.
these?
And so this book here is a collection of some of people might call them old. I choose to call them beloved stories. Stories that have already aired on the podcast.
It's all history.
It's a bunch of there's a number of new stories, in part because it's a book, so now we can actually on the podcast people can't see things. Don't have a YouTube compendium, and so a companion. So as a result, it's fun. So there's a lot of stories that do not work unless you can see the photo.
Wow.
Or that end up being sort of about the history of photography. There's also a bunch of stories. Because when I sold it to Random House, they're you've been doing this for a long time. We want to make sure that we can sell it both to
the old
new
people
readers
and new readers,
and and the old heads. And so, what's the proper mix of old and new? Right. And one of the things that they kept saying was well, is there some way to take the longtime listener sort of under the hood, take them behind the scenes?
Great idea.
That's cool, but everything they pitched was just a terrible idea.
The initial idea is good.
Everything sounded like DVD commentary. It was sort of how about you tell this cool story about the first elephant in America, and then you then you explain why where you came up with that idea. And I was like, that's not what books do. Like, what's,
No.
like that's like
No,
I don't,
no,
You
no.
don't like you don't read like William Faulkner, and then he's like, yeah. So
The
what I was-
Faulkner
exactly.
commentary.
It was going to be a light in September, but I made it a light in August. 'cause
Exactly.
That felt better.
Exactly. And so, but I did end up coming up with this bit that has actually worked out really well, which is I started to, as I was going through 16 years of stories,
Yeah.
and this like giant document, of like hundreds of stories deep, and like the story triage that I would send to my editor. How about these?
Yeah.
And then we'd go yes, no, yes, no. I started to realize that the person who writes these stories is pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
And that I was like, oh, it is worth like stopping and saying like why these things are the like things that like I find wonderful, and like why, how it is that I've like come to like this sort of like strange like approach to history. And so now there's sort of like, so there's this section at the end of the book which is called, 6 stories drawn from the author's life as a younger person that in the aggregate could have served as an introduction to this book, but that would have been super weird. So here they are presented at the end on page 276.
I have to say I feel that way about it too, is that I'm often like, why did Nate choose this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of like your choice to present this. I feel this way about if people who listen to The Dollop, that's another great story about it, really crazy historical stories. You will love The Memory Palace. To me, I feel like it's a hand in hand with that.
Yes.
It's just a different direction of it. So anyway, where can people get this book?
They can get it apparently, literally wherever you get
Anywhere,
books.
wherever you get books. Okay, the physical copy you can go to order on Amazon. You can order it at your local
Go to a
bookstore.
Barnes and frickin' Noble.
Barnes and frickin' Noble.
Pick it up.
It was a big achievement because when I went to the AMC and to the movie theater the other day, we went to the Barnes and Noble
and
had to like find it on the 3rd floor. But the other day I went down at the bottom.
Yes,
Let's go!
Come on, Nate Dimeo, The Memory
Impulse
Palace.
buy.
Hey, if your friends or your partners or your kids or your parents are readers, pick this one up from them.
This is their holiday gift. We just got you.
You're welcome.
Look
Stuff
how
for
pretty
holiday
this book
gift.
is.
You're welcome. God damn it! All
It's
right.
gorgeous, and they'll love it, and it's perfect.
I'm proud of
And
you
it
for
is
making
too large
that.
to fit up people's butts.
Yes, you
Thank
cannot
you.
stick it up.
Speaking of, let's get back to a story. Thank you,
Okay,
Nate.
Here we go. We'll get to Dan's stuff later. This is sent in by Adam Polton at Polsky75.
Polsky.
Person dressed in bear costume to fake attacks on cars for insurance payout, California officials say.
Wait, what?
Wait. I'm gonna need to
Person
hear that again.
dressed in a
In
bear
bear
saw this on the
costume
news.
to fake attacks. You saw this on the news?
To fake attacks on cars.
It was
for
here
insurance
in California.
payout.
So he's
California.
just with his shoe on in a furry thing, kicking the front fender of
No,
a thing.
it's full.
I have to say this already. I could tell this is the opposite of the principle that you proposed before, which is basically if you have used an animal, a live animal, for your own sexual pleasure, then you deserve bad things to happen. I feel like if you're co-opting the animal kingdom, but you yourself are taking on the burden of putting on the costume, then I feel like you ought to get away.
You ought to
or you
You've done
should be
enough.
left alone with an actual bear for a little
Yeah,
bit.
just hang out with, drop him in a bear den.
Here we go. 4 people in Southern California were arrested and accused of insurance fraud after they claimed their cars were trashed by a bear, which was actually someone in a bear costume.
That is
officials said.
unbelievable.
Is this smart people? Tell?
Everyone's an actor.
what I'm wondering.
Everyone's an actor.
So you're gonna be on camera.
That's right. You better.
Can I put
right?
this on my IMDb?
Like, I mean, you're not just doing the costume for fun,
No.
2024
I mean, I hope
security
so.
footage. Bear.
right?
Cocaine bear.
But then that's a lot of confidence.
I wanna be in-
your costume.
wanna
I
be
need
in-
more information.
I'm saying you're really like people are like, is the costume? Shouldn't we just like put the cars where there isn't a camera? No. My costume's
my
gonna sell
costume's
it.
great.
Can I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
this? Footage of them doing this, actually funnier than season 2 of The Bear.
What? Come on. I love the bear.
Now look,
I
if
love the
this
bear.
bear costume is as good as that guy dressed as a border collie,
Yeah. I mean,
That was the craziest thing. Rand, you might have to call that up
did
on
you
your
ever
phone show.
hear about the guy?
There's a
No.
guy who,
as a border
who
collie owner,
became,
I'm very excited about this.
no, it wasn't a border
I'm now
collie. It was
wondering if-
a lassie collie, like
That's
a regular
right,
collie.
collie.
he was
Collie
part
collie.
of a group called Collies Without Borders. All right. So
They would
called.
go down to Central America.
And they would help
Was that?
you.
I think that was a Canaan episode.
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
Yeah, we'll find
Our
it.
K9 episode.
Canine. God damn you, Nate!
Kyle Kane.
You're a word. You're a wordsmith.
And he has played a
Memory
dog
Palace.
in an animated show.
Okay. So-called bear was claimed to have entered and damaged a. This is unbelievable. A 2010 Rolls-Royce.
Yeah, they're nice
Ghost.
cars.
No.
On January, you're taking a risk to damage a
Rolls-Royce.
Rolls-Royce Ghost
Dude.
in hopes of pulling the scam. If
You should
you
be able to
don't
pull
pull the
that off.
scam,
This
you've
is
just
incredible.
ruined
Also,
a Rolls-Royce
if you
Ghost.
need money, just sell the fucking
Ghost!
Rent it out. Put it on Turo.
start driving Uber. If you drove Uber XXXXX in a Rolls Royce, you'd earn the money back probably in a month. All right, on January 8th, while it was parked at Lake Arrowhead in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Nothing good happens at Lake Arrowhead.
No. Lake Arrowhead is where you go when you're like, we need someone to disappear. Video was submitted to the insurance company that allegedly showed the animal entering the car. Upon further scrutiny of the video, the investigation determined that the bear was actually a person in a bear costume, the insurance department said in a statement. The group also submitted claims for damage to 2 other cars, a 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG, a 2022 Mercedes E350, again with video and again with someone in a bear suit.
Dumb, drunken ideas.
That's a man.
This is a man.
That's a man.
What?
I know.
That's
a man.
That's even a better picture.
Wait, but to what end? What is it? What is?
To what end?
Is he just trying to live the dog life, or is he?
No one in his life told him, "Good boy." He's a big.
He put it on, and someone said,
"When
stay."
I'm doing the story, I'll find you the photo we showed, please.
No, it is insanity.
He was a big Snoop Dogg fan. All right, here we go.
But whose drunken idea
was it to do this?
We did. I think we did an episode a long time
ready?
ago with Dan Harmon where a guy cut his own arm off for insurance purposes.
Yeah,
and then we got into a question of like, what is the money you would take? To
that was our 127 minutes episode.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Cut off his arm despite his face.
Some idiot.
That was 190 minutes.
What if it's also your friend's car? Like, it's gonna work. Fair enough.
How long was that show?
I heard it.
127 hours.
Felt like it.
Ruben.
God, by the end of that show, I wanted to cut my own arm off.
Another
Ruben
song.
Tamrazian.
Great.
How old do you think this guy is?
Roman Tasman.
Ruben Tamrazian.
That's when you get the arc on your basketball jersey.
That's exactly
the
right.
Tamrazian.
That's some Sultan Lamont.
Well, but
shit right there.
I feel like the Tamrazians are it's like an award for the worst reality show ever. He won a Tamrazian.
It's also like one of your favorite restaurants you always sort of forget the name of. Sure.
It's like for the worst strip mall in Glendale.
If you told me that was the
Tamrazian.
Kardashians' real name before they changed it to
Tamrazian,
So these are Armenians, and
Yes.
and my son plays basketball or played basketball in Glendale, and everyone in the league was pretty much Armenian.
Sure.
So all these names are very
Tamrazian.
Tamrazian. How old do you think?
I think Ruben is?
Ruben is.
A Ruben.
Ruben
Tamrazian.
And I had the Tamrazian Ruben at a deli in Glendale that was delicious.
So on the one hand, like this is the active young man.
Sure.
Okay.
However,
totally.
they do also have to be. They have to have at least achieved something, so they've
get the
scanned their
ghost.
way toward the ghost.
Right. Yeah.
So these are 27-year-old men.
That's a
it's a
27-year-old
great
man.
call. 31.
It's the 27 Club.
I mean, part of me also thinks like old gambler.
68, 64.
I had to procure.
Yeah.
True.
Rolls Royce is
He was sitting out and playing checkers
This
in front
is
of
a guy who's
Well,
Rolls
he's playing
Royce.
three-dimensional chess is what he's doing.
Right,
He's playing chess while we're playing checkers.
right?
61.
Did you, by the way, I saw recently a thing about the 27 Club. Is that what you were referencing?
Sure.
Like all these famous people who died at 27.
Absolutely.
Sure,
It was like insane. Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison.
Right.
Jimi
all
Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. All at 27. Okay.
We knew a guy.
One of you
is
is 1 year off.
Okay. I said I'll say 32.
28.
60.
28.
26 years old.
Oh,
and there's a bunch more. We won't guess the other guys, but I'll tell you their names. Ararat Cherkinian.
Sure.
Vahe Murad Kanyan. All of
I
Glendale.
miss the old Canyon.
Of Glendale, yeah.
These are the original Wolves of Glendale.
Alifia Zuckerman
Yep.
of Valley Village. All were arrested on charges of insurance fraud and conspiracy. A spokesperson for the San Bernardino County District Attorney's
Here's what's
Office.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
Here's
maybe
what's
a
crazy.
photo.
Here's what's crazy.
Here's a crazy part of this. I saw the video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking obviously
That it's not a bear.
that they probably had better odds of getting away with it
If
not having video.
right.
Sure. Or just saying a guy in a bear costume wrecked our car.
Right.
Sure.
Just
A
claiming
guy.
Right.
Just
Would
this
you
is so
believe
messed
it?
up. Look at this crazy video we have. Look, this guy dressed
Dude
messed
trying
up our
to
ghost.
disguise himself as a bear.
Hang on, let me pop my trunk. Oh shit, there's a bear costume in here.
I don't know where that came from.
It's like one of these idiots was
He
like,
wrecked our car. He
Right.
took the costume off and stuck it in our trunk.
One of these idiots is like, I'm
my
only
DNA.
doing it if I get to wear the bear
That's
costume.
it. You
And
know
they're
that
like,
happened.
Fine.
I think that was Ararat chicanery.
There are Chinese zoos that have more
Ararat chicanery.
believable in it. Yeah.
That's some Ararat chicanery.
All right.
It was the Valley Village guy.
It was. He was the
Zuckerman?
mastermind.
Zuckerman?
Arifa Zuckerman.
Arifa Zuckerman.
Scam costs insurance companies how much money? The
Nothing.
department said.
Well,
But,
initially.
Before they,
I mean,
what are they asking?
Rolls Royce.
four cars.
Four cars.
3
cars.
They're also going to overstate it because
I have no idea what that ghost is.
$27,000.
That ghost is what, $180,000
The 27
car?
I think 120,000.
Really?
120. $120.
What do you think, Dan?
I'll just keep with the other dumb number I said. 100. Wow.
180.
What did you say?
You
I
said
said 27,000.
I'm gonna go $80,000.
All right, get your answers in. 141,000.
Wow,
$149.
dude, I was
Damn.
right.
The bear costume with brown fur and a head shaped like a bear's.
Oh,
So it's a bear costume.
costume.
You said that.
Great
already.
description of a bear costume.
Paws and metal hand tools to simulate claw marks was found in the suspect's home. Officials. said.
Yes.
So you're
Get rid
so
of it,
dumb
dummy.
that you dress as the bear
Get
and then
rid
it's
of it.
in your house.
Get rid of it, you idiot.
It's like
This is so dumb.
Amateur hour.
Lake Arrowhead exists to dump things in.
yes.
you have a lake.
Exactly.
They're not going to drag the lake for a
No.
bear costume. Put a cement thing on it.
Also, what are these tools that they put to simulate? That's what I want to know.
Also,
Forks.
if you're in Arrowhead,
Yeah. Bury it.
Leave some food in your car.
That's right.
Let the bears take care of it themselves.
They will.
They
Exactly.
will. They'll
Just
co-
slather
You
some
obviously want.
ground
You were
beef
fine
on the
with ruining the
windshield.
car anyway.
Right,
Exactly right.
Right. Just put some ground beef. Exactly. Some oil. Some meat oil.
Anything.
Anything.
Literally anything.
Video of the alleged damage showed what appeared to be minor groove marks on seats and the interior that were intended to pass for claw marks. Investigators also showed the videos to a biologist from California's Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, they're going to bring in a biologist,
who,
bro.
quote, opined it was clearly a human in a
Opined.
bear suit. He opined that
He
shit.
opined it.
He didn't just say it.
If you're opining,
He
Took a moment
opined
and
about
wistfully. He
was
wistfully
whiffling
looked.
opined. It's exactly
He
right.
looked off in the distance.
he had his own memory palace.
Do you think he was
like,
disappointed? Do you think he was like, "Oh, great, I love a good bear"? Bear thing. He's like, guys.
I'm gonna have to opine here.
Hang a second. Let me look
Give me
off
a
into the mountains.
To
of
nostalgia.
Atlanta.
Oh, Tony's opining again.
Where'd he go?
There are bears at Lake Arrowhead and
No
in the
shit.
San Bernardino
Of course there
Mountains,
are.
Dan mentioned, which is a forested range about 60 miles north of Los Angeles, but they don't wear costumes. Okay. What?
Bear wasn't
No one
in a
said that it was a
costume.
bear in
a
the
bear
costume.
costume.
The
So
only
this person says, "Ha, they don't wear costumes."
Right.
Incorporated opining
Right.
into their article,
Yeah.
and also wanted to clarify that the bear's head of the bear's costume was shaped like a bear's head.
Who's the dummy?
Just quit.
Person wrote the article.
Yeah,
is the
just,
dummy.
exactly.
just turn in your 2
You're
weeks.
making these guys sound smart.
The only wild bears in the San Bernardino Mountains or anywhere else in the state are black bears, according to the Fish and Wildlife Department. Contrary to the name, those bears can sometimes be brown.
Yes, it's true.
Fair,
Sure.
But what
Fair.
this person
Proper name.
failed to
It's
lead.
like when Sunday Night Football is on a Saturday for
That's
a
right.
random scheduling
That's right.
reason.
So then the next line, this tells you this is a bad journalist. The state once had grizzlies, but they had been hunted to extinction by and you guys can tell me when that happened, but so they failed
1940s.
1940s?
It does feel.
It's a decade. Just give a decade.
1920s.
I like that. 1930s.
This is why you need to buy this book. Memory Palace, 1920s.
1912.
100% right. Walks in here and he's going to be
Nails it.
opining about this victory
He's
for
opining
years. Okay.
He's opining about the time they got rid of the
They
grizzlies.
didn't mention that it was a grizzly bear. You had the time to mention that the head looked like a bear, but didn't
Sure.
mention it was a grizzly. So now, after the
Look
fact,
at who wrote this byline.
Who?
Do we know?
no, I
Did
didn't.
Greenlee get a new job?
No, it
God,
almost
I
feels like
wish.
it. But so what they're saying was these people were so dumb to not understand
They chose a bear that
a
had
bear
not
that
been in
does
the
not
area
exist
That's your
in
research.
California.
If you're gonna
Anyway.
bust up the rolls, you got to do your research
you
and
go.
throw away the costume. There you go.
That's it. That's
Story number 2. When we come back,
That's
Daniel's
wild.
going to tell us what he has going on. I'll say this, Daniel, that the Lyric Hyperion said Daniel should be doing his show here. They
Oh,
said it
yeah.
to me. So anyway,
That
we'll
may
talk about
happen.
all of that on the other side of the break. Nate DeMeo's with us. He's got a new book, Memory Palace. That's
what
the
a
same name
gift.
as his.
I mean, both my presents and the book.
Both.
Both are a gift. You can give both for the holidays.
That's
Nate
right.
will show
Nate
up
will show up at your house. We'll
And
be
read
right
a
back
story.
with more Dumb People Now right after this.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Daniel Van Kirk.
Yes.
Tell these good people what's going on with you, my
Go
man.
to danielvankirk.com. I will be announcing some dates soon for the new year, putting together my 2025 dates.
I love it.
If you haven't checked out Rose Gold, you can do that. You can watch Wine Club, my movie, if you haven't seen that.
You should.
And you should listen to my podcast right here every Monday night. It's called The Midnight Air.
You would love it, Nate.
Yeah, it's we run down every week. We just sort of run down the national days of the week, which are usually
So like
weird.
things that are served in the midnight air.
Yeah, it's an overnight radio podcast for people that are trying to stay awake or can't sleep.
I do want you to have people selling dinette sets. Like
you know what's interesting?
Trading station.
Something I've wanted to do for a long time that incorporates, I think, one of my family's hobbies, which is what's that guy's deal? I have put this out to listeners in the Midnight Air, and I'll do it here on the Dumb People Town feed as well. I want to talk to everyday people about the job that they have.
Oh well, you've had every job.
If your family makes billiard tables, I want to know what that's like. If you work at a toll booth, tell me about it.
Because you want to understand.
Sell lemonade outside of the rodeo in Texas?
This is.
Let's have a conversation.
Have you read
about
Studs Terkel? I mean, that.
Yes, I mean one of the greatest Chicago writers of all time. Working is phenomenal.
And Charlie LaDuff.
Charlie LaDuff. So Charlie LaDuff's like
Working in Other Sins.
Well, yeah, but and Work in Other Sins. I think his name is book. But like those one-page like sort of encapsulations of a person's life,
which is kind of this, but I would love to hear your comedic take on it.
And it's another thing too. I'm going to do it on the road. Zoom mic, wherever you're at. If I'm out on the road and you happen to own a pool design company, let's just sit down and have a conversation about it.
I love this.
So those are going to start living in the new year on the Midnight Air. And then other than that, like 2 weeks ago, I did my top 10 Christmas movies. Last week, I did my top 10 Christmas-ish movies.
So I have a question for you.
This year, or this week, really quick, because you guys would love this. We will talk about it on one of our Patreons.
Hanukkah movies.
I did the Great Mexico City 1985 Christmas Heist.
What?
I know. I hadn't known anything about this. It's insane.
What?
2 21-year-old veterinary students decide that they're going to steal some of the greatest pieces in the museum in Mexico City.
Oh, my God. I thought they were going to steal an eel out of someone's house.
No. I would in favor of that. So anyway, that's the Midnight Air. If you have a job that when someone goes, I've never met anybody who does that. Like you are our friend, longtime listener, Justin Sprague. He does furniture reupholstery in Madison, Wisconsin, and he doesn't meet a lot of other people who do that. You can email the midnightmailbag@gmail.com.
I love it. All right,
so
let's
a lot of stuff going on.
This
is a short story.
Okay. Sent in by
Cumin Assassin at Max Bettman.
Thanks, buddy.
I know. All right, here's the headline. Man on rollerblades.
I already love it. And so he's already like
full stop.
I do what I want to do. I don't care.
I don't care that I look ridiculous in this thing.
It's such a commitment.
Absolutely.
If
you are on rollerblades,
your headphones should have an antenna.
Well, except have you ever been to Vancouver where people, because it's a hockey loving culture, people are just on rollerblades
all the time
because they're just like, I got to keep up.
Well, most cars,
not here. So if you're listening in Canada, you're thinking, yeah, rollerblades rule.
Most cars are on rollerblades.
I say with a pun, you are in line because man on rollerblades carrying hockey stick.
There you go.
He's on his way to a game.
Arrested. After
checking people off of scooters.
TOQUE toque
his hat
toque robbery.
He stole someone's hat.
Stole someone's hat. So I was at
toque.
So I was
never
at a
seen
Dickens
that word in my life.
I was at a Dickens
Canadian
Christmas
hat.
party.
Okay.
Dressed as the Ghost of Christmas Present. I looked like Jesus.
You looked wonderful. You looked really. That was a great costume.
Cool costume.
It was the Rolls-Royce ghost.
Wearing. I was dressed like a bear with a bear head. No, I was dressed like and there were like guys from the Middle Aged Dad Jam Band there playing piano and some music, and everyone was singing Christmas songs.
Yeah.
And we sang 2 things I did that you would love. We sang the 12 Days of Christmas, and I couldn't not sing the Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Sure.
So we just went through
5 golden toques,
4 pounds of back bacon, 3 French toasts, 2 turtlenecks, and a beer on my knee. Right, that was so fun, and I just started singing that to David Wayne, who was right there, and he immediately got it and loved it. That, and then when they did Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I couldn't not do the Bruce Springsteen version.
Not many.
You guys are slimming.
Not many.
Santa Claus is coming to
down. Clarence Clements laughing.
For some reason, my favorite part of the song is not singing. It's the not many. Not many.
Just talking in the beginning. How many have you been good out there? Not many. Not many. Anyway, so we did that, and that was really good. But the toques, that's a toque. It's a hat.
Toque.
Yeah.
Victoria, BC.
Yeah, he was right. He was right.
You
people in rollerblades. Nobody even thinks this is a weird thing.
Memory Palace available at Barnes and Noble.
Patrol officers arrested a hockey stick wielding man on rollerblades yesterday after he robbed a woman of her
innocence.
Toque.
I said dignity.
Literally, this is just a single toque.
Yeah.
Does he need the hockey stick? Does he need the rollerblade? Couldn't I say, excuse me, man?
Got it.
He needed to get
I
away.
looked it up.
He used the stick
to lift it up.
Isn't that high sticking?
Yes,
You're taking the hat off.
Yep.
2 minutes high sticking.
And then somebody in a rollerblade and a referee outfit.
Someone who's on his way to his job at Foot Locker. Right. 2 minutes.
And when he took her hat, she went, sorry.
Exactly.
But she was walking the streets.
I had to look it up.
She was walking the streets and she got 2 minutes for hooking.
A woman's small hat typically having a narrow, closely turned up brim. This happened to Victoria.
Yeah. Toque.
Shortly after.
Oh, boy.
What time do you think this guy's happened? What time do you think?
8
Real quick,
p.m.
just for fun.
That's like 3 in the afternoon.
I think it's like 2:15.
Very good. Shortly after 1:30 p.m.
Perfect.
on Monday, March 14th, patrol officers were called to the area of Government and Belleville Streets
Never forget 314.
for a report that a man on rollerblades was striking garbage cans with a hockey stick.
Well, that feels like
that's classic.
there's
Yeah.
Canada.
What else are you going to do on rollerblades?
To me, that should be the
He's just out here putting shit into the boards.
Exactly.
Dude, by the way, all he's trying to do is signal to the Astros that the next pitch is a fastball.
There you
Give
go.
him a break. Give him a break.
A second caller reported the same man causing a disturbance and striking windows of a nearby business with a hockey stick.
Can't do that.
The thing I'm liking about this is this man is it caused rampant destruction all throughout BC.
Yeah.
But it is the toque.
The hat
You don't
removal.
take someone's toque, all right?
You can knock on the windows of a Tim Hortons.
Exactly.
You want to hit shit, that's fine.
Yeah, but
All right?
you don't take someone's toque. You take someone's toque.
No, you
took
tell me
it.
what
That's
she
an
did.
insult. You take their toque. You've taken their dignity.
But
You
also,
don't
like,
took a
too
toque.
much compassion. You tell me what she did to you
He took a toque.
to make you take her
He
toque.
took a
And if it's a
toque.
good enough reason, I understand.
He took her toque.
Okay.
And she
could do nothing against it.
He took her toque.
What are you, JFK?
She was on offense.
I took offense to that
I
move,
took offense.
and she couldn't
took-
fight against
He took
him.
her toque, and she couldn't take it anymore.
A second caller, that's what I said, reported that the man was causing disturbance, striking windows of nearby businesses with a hockey stick. The thing to me is, rollerblades is, I said earlier, it's a commitment. It is a process to put them on. Are you already window hitting mad before you put them on?
Right.
Or is it after you've had them on and now you're having a falling down
Just
moment?
the lacing up when you're angry. Like,
Did he
gonna
merely
kill
just
me.
see himself in the mirror? It's just snap.
Yes.
wrapping
The
him
man,
around.
this is so Canadian to me. The man did not break the windows. So we're just saying,
Oh, okay.
tapping
He
on
hit
them.
Just tapping the window.
Yeah, tapping
which
on
also,
window.
that's his
Canadian.
glass. He's going around.
That's exactly right.
He probably
victory
just,
lap.
He'd probably just put one in the water.
Click,
That was
click, click, click.
extremely effective, Randy.
Sorry.
I was like, I've had flashbacks to the Blackhawks.
Flash
and I
Hawks?
was like, "Fa-da-da-da-da-da." Okay, Chelsea Dagger.
Flashhawks.
Officers. That's a great movie with Stallone that nobody's seen.
Flashhawk.
Officers located the suspect in the area of, how perfect if you're going to be doing this shit, Trounce Alley.
Trounce Alley.
Whoa.
Trounce
He's
Alley.
over there in Trounce
Oh,
Alley.
you don't want to go near Trounce Alley.
You tell me Trounce Alley is not a graphic novel from 1988.
It's the sequel
Miller
to The Outsiders.
crushed
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the Insiders.
SC
Yeah.
hit.
The suspect attempted to evade police by rollerblading around a police car. However, officers caught.
It's like an episode of Reno 9.
Dan, if you put that song while he's going on,
I hope he's singing it. How often?
that would be the best.
This is such a quick turn. So the suspect evades police by rollerblading around the car. You're like, whoa, getting away. However, officers on foot caught him.
That's
So he had one move.
They had one move, and he's probably going backwards. He's like, look,
Or they're like just looking at him. They're like, he'll tire himself.
All
right, go grab him, Glenn.
I hit some business windows. I took a toque. What are you gonna do?
I mean, state of mind, you probably could have just been like,
Blow him.
2 minutes,
Right. Yeah, I
2 minute
said
minor, and then
tuking.
he'd be like, all right, you go.
2 minutes for tuking.
Pull his shirt over his head.
For
Yeah.
toque taking.
Where was I?
Threw his gloves down.
Yeah. Okay, so they get him over on Trounce Alley. The suspect was taken to the ground and arrested without further incident because once you go to the ground,
absolutely,
it's over. It's over.
Right. They call him in.
The suspect was not injured during the arrest. Officers transported the suspect to. A lot of times it's like if it's Rochelle Police Department, my hometown, you'd say RPD.
Yeah,
they went Vic PD.
Oh, Vic.
Yeah, they don't go VPD.
Vancouver International.
Victoria, I think.
Victoria. Yeah.
So
that's like the state. That's like the Stadies, basically.
Yeah. They took him to Vic PD cells where he was held for a bail hearing. He faces recommended charges of robbery. From the two. The file remains under investigation. And then I love this. If you have information about this incident and have not yet spoken to investigators,
what more information?
How many
do you
investigators
need?
are
please call. And I don't prank them.
How much was the took? It could
Our
be grand
non-emergency
larceny.
line at 250-995-754, extension 1. If you want to report what you know anonymously, like if you're like, I'm not getting
Say the number again so our fans can call.
250-995-7654.
I'm calling it.
Or you can do it anonymously at 800-222.
How nice of a place that
That's
you
the
live
story.
where this is the thing that is drawing the most investigators.
I know
It's
the
a
notion that
man.
investigators are still on it.
They're on it, man.
Right.
This
You
seems
know
like
what?
an open and shut case.
Hey,
say that.
You know why the investigators are still working on this thing? Because they've been busy reading the Memory Palace.
That's right.
There you
Nate
go.
Dimeo's book. Pick it up now. I'm so proud of you for the podcast and for putting this book out. Pick it up. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. All that stuff. We have great guests coming up. We're recording a bunch of them today that we'll release over the next couple of weeks. We love you. And snap, we got back to it.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more to People Town.